Hello guys, welcome to another edition of Tips for Dummies. Today I'll be doing a simple oil change on a 2002 Cadillac Escalade. I'm going to do the oil change the proper way, and the first thing you want to do is run the vehicle until you reach the normal temperature, the highest temperature on the gauge, which is about to reach the middle of the gauge. After you run the vehicle, in this case I'm getting the proper oil at the store, so I'm driving the vehicle and heat him up. This way the oil, as it is going to be at its lowest viscosity, so the lowest viscosity that it has, the more oil will come out when I open the oil pan orifice, and you want to get the most you can of the oil, the old oil out of there. So I'll get back to you when this thing reaches the normal temperature. Alright guys, so I ran this vehicle for probably more than half an hour, and that's as high as the needle went. I don't know if the needle is wrong but okay. So as far as I know, this vehicle is hot, and now I'm gonna start the process of doing the oil change. So let's do it. Alright, to do the next step, you need to put the vehicle on a level surface. In this case, if I put it on the level on the street, I will not fit. So I put it on my driveway and put some ramps. If you go under your vehicle, make sure you go with ramps. I don't like jacks or towers. I like ramps only. So since my driveway is like on a hill down, it makes it level once it's on the ramp, and I think the vehicle is pretty level right there. So the next step, we're gonna open the hood. Come here, we're gonna open the hood, and we're gonna open the oil cap. We're gonna leave it open so that way you can let more oil goes out. It doesn't create a vacuum. All right, so now the next step is to go under the vehicle. And all right guys, so make sure you have one of these oil pans. You lift this thing up, open the breather, and it's time to go under the vehicle. And I'll show you which one it is. Alright, so now we're gonna get to the bolt. That's the transmission, and this one right here, right next to it, I don't know if you can see it, that's the one that is for the motor oil. One of the ways to determine is, because some people get confused, there is no oil, not at all, so that's an indication that that's not the correct oil bolt. A lot of people may think is this one right here, but that's for the transmission. While on it, make sure this thing is tight and sealed. It is. So we're gonna take the bolt out, and in here, the one for the oil, it calls for a 15 millimeter. It shouldn't be that tight. Make sure you put the pan on place, and sorry about the camera confusion, and we're just gonna get it loose. The way I do it is that I get it completely loose, and I actually do it by hand. I don't know if you want to do it or not, because it's a little bit hot. I'm already used to it, so I'm gonna get all the oil out, and once it comes out, I just let the bolt completely. So I made just a little spill. That's why I should have put a cardboard in there. But anyway, we're gonna let all the oil out. I'm gonna clean that spill after a while. So I'm gonna let this thing run. Yep, just like that. All right. All right, guys. As this thing is draining out, we have to change the oil filter, and the oil filter is right here, right next to the bolt. All right, guys. So the filter is kind of like in a tight space, so you gotta make sure you use the right size of tool, and you just stick it in, and from the bottom, try to find the angle in which you can press it and remove it. So don't ever try use it on the middle. Try to put it in the bottom like this, and then squeeze the tool and get it out just like that. All right. Okay. All right. So here it goes. I was putting it wrong. Just make sure you tighten it like this, and bingo, this thing should come out. Like I say, always do it from the bottom, because if you do it in the middle, you might squeeze that thing, and you might damage the filter, which you don't need it. However, it'll be a lot harder to take it out. As I loosen it, oil start popping out. Make sure you have the thing down there. All right, and whenever it's done, just keep doing it with your hand. All right, so I'm gonna keep doing it with my hand. It's a little hot, so if you're not used to it, or you want to let it cool a little bit, just do it. Or you can grab a towel and you know, let more oil come down, you know, just like that. Wait until it pours out. You can see that on this part of the oil, it still has a lot of oil in there, so you gotta make sure you take the filter out. Alright, so it stopped coming out. And I'm just gonna remove the filter with my hand. So keep turning. It's still hot, but I'm gonna try to hold on. Remember that I wanted to do this project hot because the viscosity is at its lowest, and more oil comes out from the engine parts than if it would have been cold. So I'm gonna keep going. All right, and I'm just gonna put it on the pan, just like that. And I'm just gonna let it, let that thing drain for a little bit. All right. So while the oil keeps draining under the vehicle, this is what I'm gonna do with the new filter. This is a tip that I do. I don't know if the others do it, but I'll tell you in a minute what am I gonna do. So this is the oil filter, and it's new and it's empty, and I'm gonna fill this with new oil. Also, I'm gonna make sure that oil that it's on the sides, it gets inside where the gasket goes. Then I'm gonna put the gasket back on like this. Yeah. And with the same oil that it spilled right here, I'm gonna wet the whole gasket on top. Make sure it's completely wet. I'm gonna keep throwing some more oil inside. Okay, so the reason I'm throwing oil inside is because if it's empty, it's gonna take about a minute or a minute to fill this oil filter up before it goes into the engine. So actually you will run in the engine dry. This case, it will start sucking the oil right away and you will not run the filter dry. Why am I putting oil on the gasket? So that way keep it fresh the rest of the 3,000 miles or whatever you want to leave it on the filter. It makes a better seal and it prevents from cracks. All right, so I think that thing is empty. Let's go ahead and start working on there. So it's getting a little bit dark, but this is where the oil filter goes, and I'm gonna make sure to clean everything with a rag. All right, and make sure it's really clean where the gasket is gonna seal, and make sure there's no debris or anything or old oil. All right, all around it. And now it's time to put our oil, the new oil filter in its place, just like this. All right. Now, every oil filter, you should not use tools to tighten it. All you have to do is tighten it by hand, as much as you can with your hand, and that should be good enough. If you over tighten these things, to remove it next time, it will be a pain in the rectum. So just tighten it as much as you can with your hand, and as strong as you can, and that's all you got to do. That's it. All right. So next, we're gonna clean where the oil pan bolt goes, which is in here. Make sure everything is clean all around it, and also make sure the bolt itself is clean, because it has a magnet on the top, and it collects the metal. So make sure we clean it with a rag. All right, so I got the bolt clean. I inspect the gasket, and the gasket seems to be okay, so I don't have to change it. I'm gonna put the bolt back on, and I'm gonna tighten this puppy. All right, so that's good enough, and we're going to work for the next step. Okay, so we're finished down here. We put the bolt, we put the filter. Now let's get the oil inside the engine, and we're done. All right, so now I'm gonna get a funnel. It's just that before you use the funnel, make sure it is clean. You can tell that this is all dirty, and just clean it up as much as you can to take all the debris out. Bang it a couple of times so you can clean it, and pretty much have it clean. I had it on the back of my truck, and whenever you put it to store, it's a good idea to leave a towel inside, so that way the debris doesn't start getting in there. But yeah, just make sure this thing is clean. All right, so we're gonna get the funnel inside the oil tube, the one you previously removed the cover to put the oil, and we're gonna start pouring 6 quarts of oil. This is how much this vehicle uses, and well, we're gonna try to get it in. Start slow so that way we don't throw. I'll try to not to make so much mess like the one that I just did a little while ago. I'm gonna put the full 6 quarts of oil. I bought a 5 gallon. 5 quarts, and then one by itself. It was on special. I don't really care about the brand. I always use the store brand. I remember I asked an expert one time, and he says that he didn't care about the brand as long as you put the one that it's called for. In this case, I'm using the 5W20 high mileage oil. Okay, next time you have to put, clean the oil bucket. Say. All right, don't forget to put the oil cap, and we're gonna turn on the vehicle to let the oil run. We lowered the engine on and it's ready. So once we finish doing the oil exchange, the only thing we have to do is reset the oil light on the dashboard, on the dash, in the cluster. When you turn the ignition on, but it also comes out, change the oil. It's time, so we have to reset it. So this is what we do. You turn off the vehicle, after you turn off the vehicle, you turn the ignition but before the engine. All right, so you have 5 seconds to depress the accelerator 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And you're gonna see the light engine flash, and that means that it's doing its job. You turn off the engine and turn it on completely, the engine, to confirm that you just reset the light. It's flashing again. It's telling you that it's already reset and it's all done. Once you turn on the vehicle, turn it off and turn it on, it will not come out again until the mileage has been run, and that's it.